Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Suriyas Academy. If you are new to my channel, then hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon for more interesting videos. In today's video, we are going to discuss about the structure of a C program. In the C programming series, we had already been discussed about the history of C, generations of computers and tokens of C, etc. You can check my previous playlist in videos. Now, the structure of C program can be divided into 6 parts. That is documentation section 1, documentation section 2, link section 3, definition section 4, global declaration section 5, main function section and 6, subprogram section. We can check all those sections one by one. Now when moving on to documentation section, what is the purpose of a documentation section is, suppose when we are going to write a program, we want to write a particular details or give some information to the programmer wants to give the information to the user. This can be written in the comment section. What happens when we write in the comment section, or what are all the details can be written in the comment section means the author name, the program details, about suppose when you want to give input or output, you can write please provide 2 inputs or whatever information, everything can be the program date, everything can be written in the comment section. How it can be written is, it can be written as a single line comment section as well as a multi-line comment section. The comment line always begins with a slash character followed by a asterisk symbol, and then the information here I have written as author name Kartika, and then again by ending the session an asterisk symbol followed by a slash symbol. When the compiler sees the particular comment line, it ignores, it will not execute. The comment line will just provide the information to the user. This is a single comment line. And then next comes the here multi-comment line. Program to, here I had written slash asterisk, after I had written program to add 2 numbers, user has to provide input date 15/11/23, whatever. So this is called the multi-line command, single command line and multi-line command line. The compiler will ignore, it will not execute, it will just ignore the comment line. This is just only written for the documentation purposes. The second part comes the link section or the header file section. That is, each and every program will mandatory contains the link section of the header file section. What is a header file is, here every program begins with hash include stdio.h, hash include string.h. This stdio stands for the standard input output. Here in the C program, it can be, the functions can be divided into user defined functions and a built-in function. This is the built-in function. The other one is the user defined functions. The user defined functions are nothing but the user can create a function depending upon the requirement of the program. That is called the user defined function. We will see all those things in detail in the upcoming videos. And what is a built-in function means, that is, C has already provided a function prototype which is called the built-in function, which is defined in the C library functions. That is, it is a predefined function we can use directly in our programs. For example, scanf is referred for the input. For getting an input we will use scanf. For printf we will use the output for output. So when we are using scanf and printf, we have to compulsorily include the standard input, standard io.h, input output.h function in the hash included as a header file we have to use. Suppose when we are using string functions, say for example built-in string functions such as string length for finding the length of the string copy for copying a string compare for making comparison between string 1 and string 2. When we are using this built-in function string functions, we have to include hash include string.h. The other things such as when we are using mathematical functions, we can include hash include math.h, hash include ponyo.h, etc. We can use. So these are the details about the link section or the header file section. That is the built-in functions are already predefined in the C library functions by the compiler, and we can directly use it as scanf, printf or string length or whatever functions we can get, built-in functions we can use, and you have to represent the particular connectivity header file. And then the third part comes the definition section. What is a definition section is, here we can able to define hash define pi 3.14. This can be called as a symbolic constant. That is, hash define can also be defined as a preprocessor directive which are used to define a macros. Which are used to define a macros. Macros are nothing but the preprocessor, that is the values will be replaced, the PI values will be replaced by 3.14 before the compilation. When it is defined, it remains constant throughout the program and the value will not be changed throughout the program. So when we are using the PI, the particular value 3.14, that is a symbolic constant will be represented in the program. We will define this in the program in the next session. That is, in the next session we will define how it can be used in the program. The values remains the same and cannot be changed. Similarly, in hash defined, semicolon is not required. When we are using a macros hash defined PI 3.14, semicolon is not required. Semicolon not required. Okay. That's all the definition section. Next comes the fourth one comes the global declaration section. Here we can able to define a variable as two parts as global and a local variable. First of all, what is a variable is, we want to use a variable to store a particular value in a memory so that when the programmer needs, he can able to retrieve the value from the memory and he can able to manipulate it. That is the part of the variable. Variables can be defined as two types, global and local. Whenever a variable value, consider here integer x equal 10, then is defined here after, that is before the main program begins, the values are given. So this is called the global variable. Suppose in a program, a main program, it can contains not only a main program, it can have so many subprograms or functions. 2 or 3 functions we can have in a same program to divide a major task into a smaller task. So when we are using like that, this x equal 10 can be used in the all the functions and can be accessible since it is a global variable. Consider again the another variable within the main program. Here we had declared integer y equal to 20. This is called the local variable. That is, this variable can be accessible only within the main program. This value cannot be accessible outside the main program, that is in the functions it cannot be accessible. That is the global declaration section. The next part comes the main function section. In this main function section, it consists of a declaration part and an executable part. That is, when the main function begins, we will declare the variables, that is, it is of an integer type or a float type or whatever values, we have to define it in the declaration part, and then after that we can able to process add or multiply or finding area or whatever thing we can able to manipulate. Consider this main function as a with a small example program for finding the radius of a circle. We all know that for finding area, we all know the value is, the formula is pi r square. So here we are going to define for pi value 3.14 value, here we are going to define as a hash define, that is the definition section we had already discussed, hash define pi 3.14. Here I am going to include it. Hash include stdio.h hash defined pi 3.14159. The value is defined here. So whenever a value pi is used inside it, this value will be, pi will be always replaced with the constant value 3.14159. Integer main. The main program begins with open braces, float, RAD radius, area. That is, both the variables are given in the float values. Float values is nothing but we can able to find the or provide the value with decimal values and find the answer with the decimal values. And then scanf percentage f. Percentage f is nothing but the format specifier for representing the float value. And then radius, ampersand radius, which is nothing but ampersand is used to store the value of the variable in the memory. For that the symbol ampersand is used, ampersand RAD, that is the radius. Here using this statement we are getting the radius as input value for finding the output area. Next step, area pi into RAD, that is pi r square. Here pi is, we had already defined in the hash defined pi, so the particular value will be replaced here in the pi, and then printf, the area is, the value is stored in the area, and then the area is percentage f, again the float is represented, comma area, the value is printed, written 0 and then the close braces. This is the main function section. That is, here this is called the declaration part. This float RAD comma area is called the declaration part, and then area equal to pi into RAD is called the executable part. We all know the simple things. That's all the main function section. And then the last section we are going to discuss about is the subprogram section. Here we are using the functions for addition of two numbers. We will discuss about how the function is evaluated or everything in detail in the upcoming videos. Just a small example I will explain it. Here hash include, this is the main function. Here since I have no space, I have written the function here in the nearby. Hash include stdio.h, since we are using the scanf and the printf statements, so the built-in function, here we are using stdio.h, which is nothing but the link section or the header file section. And then void add integer comma integer. For two numbers we are going to find the additional values, so the values integer is passed here. And then integer main, the open braces, the main function begins. Here we are declaring two variables x and y, integer x and y. That is, it is the declaration part in the main program section. And then scanf percentage d, which is the format specifier for getting the integer value, for representing the integer value. And then ampersand x and ampersand y, that is for storing the values x and y in the memory. We are using ampersand x and ampersand y. And then add x comma y, this is called the function call. From the main program, here we are making a functional call. When the functional call takes place, the compiler will move to the function. It will jump from the main program to the function. So void add integer x comma integer y. Here we had already declared integer comma integer. So the arguments are passed here, integer x as integer x and integer y. And then inside the function, integer z, a new variable is declared here. That is, this variable will be used only within the function. So it is declared inside the function integer z. In z equal to x plus y, print of addition. Again percentage d for integer format specifier z. The value z is printed here. And then in the main program, return 0. That is, no value is written from the function to the main program, so return 0. Oh, okay, this is the main program and this is the function. That is through add x comma y. Here we are calling the function call, making a functional call, and the functional call is executed here. Okay, today we had discussed about the structure of C program, which includes documentation section, which contains single command line or the multiple command line, and then a link section and the header file section, which include stdio.h and string.h. And then third one, definition section we had included here, which defines a symbolic constants. And then global declaration section, that is the variable, how a variable can be declared as a global or a local variable. And then the next one, fifth one, main function section with a small example program, area of a circle with definition section, that is hash define, we had included here. And then in the subprogram section, a small addition program, addition of two numbers using a functional call, we had discussed here. Hope you would be very clear about this video. If you find this video really useful, share this video with your friends. Make a small appreciation comment. Thank you in the comment section. Keep supporting Sai Suriyas Academy. Thank you.